I'd always thought my cabin was my little slice of paradise, a quiet retreat by the lake, far enough from the chaos of the city to feel like a separate world. That is, until Karen and her HOA started asserting control over every inch of the neighborhood. It began innocuously enough, a polite letter about my gate. Apparently, it didn't comply with community aesthetics. I ignored it, thinking it was a minor annoyance. But Karen, of course, had other plans. Within a week, the HOA had physically sealed my cabin gate with a lock of their own making. I stared at it in disbelief. My cabin, my property, and they were telling me I couldn't access it? Naturally, I called them. "You can't just lock someone out of their property," I said. The HOA secretary, in her clipped tone, assured me that it was standard procedure for non-compliance with community guidelines. Standard procedure, I thought, for tyrants. The situation escalated quickly. Karen, smiling smugly as always, even threatened to involve law enforcement if I attempted to breach the seal. I realized then that she assumed she could bully me into submission like she had with other neighbors. But she had overlooked one crucial fact. I held the title to the only bridge connecting our neighborhood to the main road. Without it, no one could leave or enter without my permission. I stayed calm, observing their frustration as they tried to assert authority. I didn't need to escalate with threats. The law and logistics were on my side. The HOA had locked me out, but they couldn't ignore that I controlled access to the entire community. Any attempt to enforce their will risk trapping them on my terms. Karen visited my property in person, her heels clicking against the wooden planks of my cabin deck. "You can't hold us hostage," she snapped. "This is outrageous." I smiled and gestured toward the bridge. "Actually, Karen, I can, but I don't intend to. I'm simply requesting that my property rights be respected." Every day, she became more desperate. Notices were posted, letters mailed, even threats of fines. I entertained none of it. Instead, I sent back a simple, legally backed response. The gate is my property, and any interference would constitute trespass. Meanwhile, I maintained full access to the bridge. If anyone needed to leave, they had to ask politely. The irony wasn't lost on me. Eventually, the HOA backed down, their bluff fully exposed. Karen's confident posture faltered each time she tried to assert dominance, only to be reminded silently of her dependence on my bridge. I reopened my gate at my own pace, savoring the satisfaction of reclaiming control. No violence, no confrontation, just the undeniable leverage of legal authority paired with strategic patience. By the end of the ordeal, the neighborhood had a new understanding. Karen could still enforce petty rules on compliant neighbors, but my cabin and my bridge remained untouchable. The lesson was clear. Authority without power is nothing, and power without patience is reckless. I had both, and Karen had neither. From then on, I enjoyed my cabin in peace, the gentle lapping of the lake at my doorstep a quiet reminder that sometimes, being prepared and knowing your rights is the ultimate way to neutralize even the most overzealous neighbor. Karen still prowls the streets occasionally, her HOA clipboard in hand, but I watch her from my deck, calm and unbothered. Control, after all, is far more satisfying when it is absolute, and hers was nowhere near. Character count: 5,096 white heavy checkmark.